Welcome back to Boxing Talk with Brian Mendoza. I'm Andrew Bocanegra. Brian, how you doing?
How we doing, man? Good to be back.
Yeah. Hey, some breaking news. Before we start, we want to talk about some breaking news. We have Jake Paul, Anthony Joshua. That's happening. Yeah, I think the news came out early this morning, so we wanted to touch on that really quick. Miami, Florida on December 19th, 10-ounce gloves, 8 3-minute rounds. It's going down.
Yeah, pretty interesting, man. I was kind of surprised to see that they would actually pull the trigger, follow through on that. But, it's a crazy fight, made it happen. And respect to Jake Paul, for really chasing these tough challenges.
Yeah, you want to check into the last show where we got into detail and breakdown on the fight with our perspective. You want to check that out. Hey, so jumping right into it, great weekend of boxing, right? Connor Benn, he was incredible.
Yeah, crazy.
Right?
Exactly.
So I wasn't expecting that. It took place in London, over 160,000 spectators showed up to watch. Eubank, I don't know. He just looked sluggish. He got dropped twice in the 12th.
Yeah.
What's your feedback?
I think as far as, the Eubank looking sluggish, it was a lot of the weight finally was just really too much. He's been making that weight for too long, way too many years in the same weight class, and you're just not moving up or whatever, hanging on there for always, like these big checks. I know they made a lot of money for these two fights. And it was just too much, people were saying that, he was able to make it and win last time, but okay, so then it's one more time you got to really suffer through that, and people saw just how much he was suffering last time. So it's the weight definitely played a factor, but, he accepted it. He accepted the rehydration clause, and you kind of know what you're signing up for when you do that. So, yeah, but on the flip side, it could have maybe just been another war if Ben wouldn't have made those adjustments. And just like I actually mentioned on the last show, I think if either guy brings a jab and some angles, a couple feints, and that they're going to take over, because it was just, a slugfest for the most part last time. They just laying their heart out on the line. But
true, but what was it really, those adjustments, or was Eubank just off?
It was both, but I think it still could have been maybe a lot uglier, but I think the fact that Ben was able to kind of walk away with it, become the clear victor in this, not just, did he win just by a couple of rounds? Was it close? He was able to take full advantage of it because of that. He used tons of jabs, tons of feints off of it. That's even what set up the first knockdown, just working on the body a lot and then sneaking, just coming over the top of that 1-2. And that's really what made the difference and made it at least a lot more clear.
Hey, so Ben, I think he's number 6 in the WBA at 147. This was at a much higher weight. Mm-hmm. Should he be dropping in weight? Should he be going down? Should he be chasing after the titles? I know this was a big payday.
Yeah.
But was it the paydays are never a bad move,
right,
for fighters. But, shouldn't he be chasing down a belt right now at a different weight?
I mean, you should always try to be looking for, as long as you're healthy. But I personally wouldn't recommend it. I really think now it's gonna, the tables are gonna turn, and he's gonna be the one that's weight drained if he comes down to 47. Even if he can rehydrate fully, it's gonna be something that he gained a lot of muscle. Like even Eubank mentioned, Ben actually looked bigger than him.
He did
on the scale. Yeah,
he did.
So I think last time was his first fight at 160, and so he was growing into it. And then the second one, I really think he grew into the weight class and, skipping even 154 down to 147 again, I really think is going to play a factor in his next fight. We'll see. I know he's going to have, the best team around him and stuff to cut the weight and try to make it as healthy as possible. But I really think that's a big ask at this time.
Wow. So Chris Eubank, what's up with him? What does he do next at this point?
He's either gonna maybe have to, obviously, take some times off. He's got his twin babies on the way.
Yes.
So that's gonna be big for him. He's gonna be preoccupied with that for a while, and it's gonna see if he still wants it, because as depleted as he was, he didn't look like he wanted to be in there too much. It just wasn't a great night for him. And I think after he reevaluates and everything, if he does come back, I would definitely think it's finally time for a bigger weight class and see what he can do there, because I think at 160 he's really just got to call it there.
Yeah. So you were talking about a feud that's been going on for decades between the family. I mean, it was nice to see them hug it out at the end. Did you think it would end that way?
I wasn't sure, because after the last fight, the first fight between the juniors, that when Ben tried to go up to Eubank and kind of be cool about things, kind of.
Yeah, he wasn't having it.
Yeah, Eubank was still just not having it. So this one, there seemed to be kind of that little more respect. Kind of like it is what it is, even though they're technically 1-1 now. And
Should there be a third?
I don't think so, just because of the weight is just going to keep getting worse.
Yes.
For
Good
Eubank.
point.
So, and I don't see Ben going up another weight class just to meet Eubank there. So I really think they should call it there. But it was definitely, a great 2 fights, and they made their fathers proud because their fathers had those legendary fights back in their day. And they did the family feud well. And I feel like it was great for boxing, great for in every way. So props to both of them for that. But I don't think there should be a third.
Wow. Great information. Joseph Parker tested positive. Cocaine.
Yeah. Crazy. Yeah, right before the fight.
So it was during his fight on the 25th with Fabio Wardley. He had some big things lined up. I mean, he had Usyk. He was next in line for Usyk. That was a lot to risk there. I mean, I think there's still an investigation. I'm sure that's going to go on. He's come back and he's denied it just recently,
right,
in the last couple days. But yeah, that's a tough one. What are your thoughts there?
He's actually, he came out, he made a video and he's saying that, he's going to be answering questions and being open to everything. So that's kind of the first green flag, because when people just try to, get really defensive and hide from everything, that can look a little more guilty, I guess.
Yeah.
It'll make you look more guilty anyway. But he's playing the role, as of now. And then who knows, because it is strange, they mentioned that it's the first camp where his family was out here with him. And why would you pick, when you like the first time your family's with you to, be doing that level of partying and stuff. So it just kind of doesn't make sense. And I don't know him personally, but we just have to see. But innocent until proven guilty. So, we'll see. And
the recreational, drugs, they don't do anything for you. Mm-hmm. So why chance it?
I don't know if, well, I mean, as far as, cocaine or something like that, I don't know.
It gets out of your system. I think I read in 2 or 3 days. I mean, it goes out of your system. So.
Right, that's what they say.
There's a lot of guys that I'm sure do their have their little fun on the side, right? We don't know what's going on in someone's life.
Yeah,
right?
no, and like there's been guys that have been caught even after fights, and I kind of personally believe do what you do. It's not really my thing for those type of recreational drugs like that, but do what you do after the fight, But like I said, like in camp, in preparation and stuff, and especially fight night, that's not anything that you should have in your system or be dealing with. So. It's going to be interesting. We'll wait for the investigation, but I'm not sure, how to feel about it just yet. But it is crazy, especially with all he had on the line. But and then as strange as not as strange, but just the way the fight played out, it didn't go his way. So we'll see kind of what's up next.
Wow, it just seems like it's more common. You have Ryan Garcia, the whole fiasco with Ryan Garcia, Jaime Munguia. That's still in question.
Right.
We still don't know all the details on that. Should there be year-round testing for fighters in the ranking? I mean, that has been talked about.
Yeah.
And what are your thoughts there?
Yeah, I believe so. I believe if you're clean all year round, it's not something that you should be worried about. And I've been actually an advocate for that. Just being clean, because since early on, just because like I'll get very shredded for fights and stuff, so people start questioning. You get those allegations and. You're in great shape, people automatically start. So it's good to have like that backup, like, hey, like I get tested all the time. And ever since I actually teamed up with Snack, rest in peace to Victor Conti. And
yes.
it was great working with him and everything, and I respected that about him. He came back from the other side, the not legal side of things.
Yeah, back with
stuff.
Barry Bonds back,
right?
In the
Balco scandal,
early 2000s. Yeah,
he came back and became a huge advocate for clean sports. I was going to say clean boxing, but clean sports in general, just keeping people on that the clean side of it, because the performance enhancing stuff it's just a little too much. You're playing with lives out here. We're literally putting our lives on the line. So, if you come in with stuff like that, it's definitely not fair, pretty disrespectful to do like just to do people like that. But
of course. So what's the biggest problem? What drug is the biggest problem? What do you see most common out there or hear about most common?
I mean, there's tons of different steroids. There's even, like you hear about so many things over the years over boxing, but I believe anything that's a performance-enhancing drug, on fight night, something that you're trying to get the edge outside of, maybe some caffeine or stuff like that. But if it's illegal, they've done their research on it. It's illegal for a reason. And I believe anything classifies as too much if you're doing that.
Okay, so you mentioned their resource. Like what should a fighter do? Like how should he know? I mean, better know if he's taking something, because we hear about these supplements,
Yeah.
right? Nutrients that are being passed around. Hey, this is good for you. That's good for
Right.
you, right? I mean, how do you know what you're taking?
Yeah,
or what more important, when you do get something, what should you do? Should you?
Right. Well, for starters, never take something that somebody just gave you, some random supplement. I never trust that. That's always pretty suspicious. It's just like taking a random drink at a party. You don't know what's in it. You don't know what's what it's been through. So I would definitely hold back on that. And there's actually companies like USADA and stuff. They have you can actually submit your supplements to be tested to see if they're tainted or whatever, and you can work with things like that. Or there's informed choice, which is like a little label you'll see on a lot of supplements.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, so
wow,
it's
great.
literally informed choice, and they've tested it to go through that. So that's a good kind of little fallback, because you can find that stuff at your regular supplement store. So there's lots of ways like that. Work with your team to check stuff. Like I said, on the informed choice label on your supplement makes a big difference. And just always being careful and just not taking too much in general. You don't want to like overcrowd your body with all that stuff. It can actually work against you.
Oh, Ryan Garcia is clear now. I believe that came out last week. He's been cleared to come back, get back in the ring. I mean, look at the damage for Devin Haney, right? I mean, should there be harsher punishments, or people say it feels too lenient.
Yeah, I definitely believe so, because a lot of times, even when they do get caught, they may get suspended for 6 months to a year or something. And in the modern era of boxing, you may only fight once a year anyway.
Yes.
So it's basically just your regular time off. And once they're ready to get going again, they just get back in camp and sign for just outside the suspension date. So I definitely think when you really get caught, you don't have any kind of explanation. There's no tainted supplements. There's nothing like that. They definitely should have harsher suspensions.
Sure, of
Minimum
course.
I'd say like 2 years, because it'll actually take away your next check or something like that. But there's got to be a lot more regulations on it. And like we talked about, Victor Conti was someone that was pushing for that a lot. So hopefully someone else can take the reins on that and
Yes.
try to keep the sport clean.
Yes, I mean, should a win be overturned until an investigation is done? I mean, because that didn't happen with
Right.
with Devin Haney, right?
Yeah.
It took some time.
Yeah, it took time. I mean,
you want to get it right, but
yeah, that's why I feel like they shouldn't jump the gun. Like I said, it's usually innocent till proven guilty. I would say once the investigation is complete, then overturn it, fine, suspension, do whatever you got to do. But I feel like, once the investigation's ongoing, then you're never too sure, because there is actually a lot of things that may trigger a false positive. So that's something I do believe you should wait on. They should be harsh when he's like, they've confirmed it. But until then, I feel like they should wait it out and kind of see how the investigation plays.
Got it. Hey, Brian, I'm really looking forward to this topic, right? Legends versus current day boxers. I'm really interested in your feedback, because we're 20 plus years apart. Maybe not that much, maybe more. I can't remember. Can't remember my age. But current day fighters versus legends, right? I got a quick 10 for you.
Yeah.
We're really interested in hearing your feedback.
That's
Floyd Mayweather versus Terrence Crawford at 147.
That,
Who would you have?
That would be a phenomenal fight. Crawford has actually, shown that he can truly adjust and fight completely different styles in a lot of his fights. Obviously, Mayweather's done the same. He's fought everybody, fought every style. I just I don't know if-
Go, hear it.
Yeah.
Throw it out there.
Let's go. I still got to lean maybe Mayweather. In his prime,
Hey, that's what I got. Got
Yeah.
Mayweather. I just don't think Crawford. I mean, Mayweather was just too. I mean, after the Canelo fight, right? Yes, Canelo was young when he fought Mayweather,
Right,
but
right.
Canelo had nothing on him.
Yeah.
And it's a hard comparison, but overall,
right.
I have Mayweather.
Yeah, I would still lean that way. He kind of never gave too many reasons to not go with him in a fight. It's not wise to bet against him.
Manny Pacquiao, in a way.
Ooh.
That's another tough one.
Yeah.
Quick answer. Give me a quick answer.
I'll go Manny Pacquiao.
Manny
back in his
Pacquiao,
prime,
wow.
Those lightweights. Yeah.
Wow. Who was just recently saying that Bob Arum, in a way, the greatest fighter he's ever seen of all time, out of all of them.
Yeah, I can't
Right.
really argue with it. That's why that one's the real. I would have to have some explanations to explain my point on that one. But
Sugar Ray Leonard, Errol Spence.
Sugar Ray Leonard.
Sugar Ray.
Yeah.
All the way. I have Sugar Ray as well.
Stylistic matchup. Yeah.
Devin Haney, Roberto Duran.
I think Roberto could.
Two
could
different,
slay
all
those
right,
traps.
two different, totally different styles.
Yeah,
To me, would it
exactly.
turn out like another Umas? No
Right.
Mas,
Yeah.
right? With Sugar Ray.
That's what it could be, but I feel like that's what makes it a tough one.
I got
because of that
Duran. What do you
boxing
got?
style. I got Duran on that
okay.
one. Yeah.
Got it. Roy Jones Jr., David Benavides. These are all tough ones.
Yeah. Making it pretty hard.
Quick answer.
I can't bet against Roy Jones in his prime.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. Some would differ. Well, I just
Yeah, I think, and I couldn't blame you if you differ, but I just can't. Roy Jones in his prime, it's tough to go up against that.
hey, let's go with the big boys. Mike Tyson, Usyk.
Yeesh.
Ouch, that's a tough one.
Man, I don't know if I'm just picking all the legends here, but Mike Tyson, I feel like the way he was able to impact his size, impose his size and his will and everything in those fights. I'd have to, and the fact that we have seen Usyk hurt a couple times, I think Tyson could pull that one off.
Well, we've seen Tyson hurt many times. Buster Douglas.
Of course,
Come
yeah.
on.
Of course,
You know.
well, that's why in my head I go with the absolute prime of each fighters.
Okay, Evander Holyfield, Usyk. There's another heavyweight battle.
That's a more of a toss up.
Yeah, I think I'd go with Usyk on that.
Maybe. I hate to go against Holyfield, but yeah, I think Usyk. Definitely more of a
Because of the
stylistic-
style, yeah.
The stylistic matchup. I think the movement and the awkward angles and stuff might give Holyfield a tougher time.
Lennox Lewis, Tyson Fury.
I'll still go with Lennox with that one.
Lennox.
Yeah,
Man,
really-
you like the old timers.
Yeah, honestly.
So do
yeah.
you study a lot of older film?
Yeah, a lot of my stuff I picked up, from the older fighters and just kind of made it into my own thing. Picked up a lot of like their tricks, their habits and stuff, some of their rhythms. But yeah, I feel, on that one, I just feel like Lennox was a very composed, compact fighter, great jab, that 1-2 straight down the pipe. I feel like he kept it very basic, but just very, very polished. So I would still lean that way in that one.
Wow, there you go. Those are his calls for the top 10,
Yeah.
right? So you're going to want to follow us on Boxing VIP Network on all social media platforms. You can also watch us on boxingvip.com. Thank you for watching, Brian. Thank you again.
Always a pleasure.
Okay.